All right, what is up, everybody? Okay, let's see. All right, so welcome to Entrepreneur Talk. I am Asian McMillan, founder and president of BeyondFour Foundation, and my guest today is going to be Miss Nakedria Clarke. I see her in the background, and she's laughing on this video thing. So yeah, I started Entrepreneur Talk. What about 6 7 months ago, sometime earlier this year, and then I fell off. So I wanted to bring it back. Especially going to 2022, with a lot of people have started businesses this year. A lot of people started businesses last year, especially during the pandemic and everything. So we just kind of want to give you a take on what it's like to be an entrepreneur from our perspectives. And just kind of go over what you can expect. Not what you can expect, but what you can do in 2022 to help build your brand, to help make your business better, um, and to be the best entrepreneur. So before I get started, housekeeping items, make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment letting us know what you think of the video, what you think of this live session, if I should do more of these live sessions, if you have any guests that you want me to reach out to bring on, talk about entrepreneurship and business. So yeah, like the video, comment, subscribe, and share the link. All right. All right. Let me bring on the Kedra. Because if you know me, I like to start on time. I like to do things on time here. And she's over there cheesing. We live, y'all. We live, y'all.
Look alive, look alive.
We live. All right. Let me make sure she liked the video like this, but I kind of like it like this.
You didn't even have to go through all of that.
All right. So just do a little bit of working here. All right. All right. All right. All right. So let's just get straight into it. So Nakedria Clarke. Nakedria Clarke is the founder, CEO, baker, all that stuff with Kreations LLC. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about what Kreations is.
What you just did. Um, so to reiterate, my name is Nakedria Clarke, and I am the owner, the baker, the decorator, all of the above. I wear many hats of Bake Kreations LLC, which is basically just a in-home bakery. I make cakes, cupcakes, pies, cookies, almost anything that you can imagine. Even if I don't make it, I'll try to make it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, she be making everything. She be baking everything. So yeah, she do a little bit of everything. So all your cakes, your cupcakes, your cookies, all that stuff,
Pies,
pies,
cheesecake, all of
all of
that.
that. She makes it, and it's always good. And yeah, it's always good. I never had nothing from her that was nasty or anything like that.
Asia is an honorary Bake Creations test kitchen.
I'm a tester.
Yeah.
I'm a tester. All right, so let's jump into these to what entrepreneur talk is about. So, um, the first question I got for you is, when you hear the word entrepreneur, what comes to mind?
Boss. Not
Boss.
BOSS, but BAWS. No, I'm joking. But
I mean, sound
boss,
good to me.
uh no sleep, no sleep.
No sleep.
Um Creativity and just the freedom to be who you want to be, do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and when you want to do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
How you want to do it, when you want to do it. Freedom. I think that's the most important part about being an entrepreneur is understanding that it frees you of everything else. Like you're not tied to a 9 to 5. Well, we still tied to 9 to 5, but for the most part,
Right.
you're not tied down to doing something else for somebody else. You're doing
Yeah,
what you want to do. You following your passion. You following something that you love or doing something that you love, and making money at the same time. So
pretty much.
yeah. So talk a little bit about bake creations. What like how did you start baking? How did you start getting in the kitchen? How did the business come about? All of that.
So, as far as like started baking, I think my story is pretty much similar to almost everyone else's. Like they were in the kitchen with their grandparents or their grandmother and their mother. And that's pretty much where it started for me. I mean, I've always been hefty, so I always like to eat. And I wanted to know like what was going on at all times. That may have also tied into the fact that I was probably just a little bit nosy. But I started in the kitchen with my grandmother and my mom, and it was pretty much just nonstop from there. Um, as I got older, it was okay. Well, what am I going to eat today? And if it's something that I don't like, then I don't have to make it.
Mhm,
Or if it's something that I love, I can eat it every day.
mhm,
As far as the baking aspect, that pretty much honestly was always my thing. Like I always cakes, cookies, pies, all of that. It was the way to my heart. You can get me to do anything for just about a cookie. I'm joking, um, but yeah, like I always like cakes and pies and things. And as I got older, and a lot of people started to um, get more creative with cakes. It wasn't just the basic yellow cake with chocolate frosting that everybody used to get for their birthdays. Like it started to be Tinkerbell cakes and dinosaurs and stuff like that for my brothers. So it was just like, it can look good and taste good too. Yeah, I might have to try this. And that's pretty much where it started. And then it drifted from, obviously doing it the easy way, with the box cake mixing, the can frosting or the tube frosting, whatever you call it.
mhm,
Um, and then at some point, I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to get this same love, taste, texture, feel. Like, I'm not going to get that from a box cake. So then it went into me, testing out different stuff like, okay, why does this rise or why does this spread? Like, what is it that makes this delicious and look the way that it looks? And then that's kind of where the science came into it all because there genuinely is a science to baking. You use
mhm,
baking powder, baking soda, one spreads, one rises. If you use too much of something or not enough of something, then the cake won't be the way that you want it to be. It won't be moist, it won't be fluffy, or various things like that. So that's pretty much how it started.
the reason why I don't bake because I don't know nothing about none of that, and I
Trial and error,
rising, spreading, all of that.
trial and error,
Okay, so basically, you took something that you saw, you took
and
an
love.
interest and love, and took an
Yeah.
interest into it, and then you was like, okay, I can start doing this.
hmm
So when did it actually become like you were like, I could make money doing this. Like I can really sell this. Like I can sell what I'm making.
Like 2 years ago, I think
Mhm,
Creation's been live for like 2 years. So about two, maybe 2.5 years ago. I would pretty much just make stuff just to make it because I was bored or I saw something on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and I'm like, oh, I want to try this. I think this would be really cool. And then it got to the point where I was basically just giving out free stuff like, hey, I
mhm,
tried XYZ in the third. Let's do this.
yeah.
Um, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good. And I always say that you can taste and feel the love in the things that I bake. And I feel like, in a sense, that's kind of a love language for me.
Mhm,
Like, I mean, I feel like I really don't love you if I've never cooked or baked for you.
mm,
So
yeah.
sometimes a lot of people just need that love. Some people just need some southern comfort. Like, they want to feel close to their deceased grandparents or parents. And
Mhm,
because of the love and the time that I put into my baking, I basically give that to. people.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess we can taste the love and all your stuff that you be
Well,
making.
thank you for that. Because I put
So,
love in it.
oh Lord
That's an
Jesus,
ingredient. It's a secret ingredient. That's not really secret no more, but it's a secret ingredient. Everybody don't put love in their stuff.
Lord. So is that so? Okay, so when you talk about love and you talk about baking, is that
Mhm.
something that is something that motivates you to bake? Like, what is the motivating factor?
Um,
Not only to bake, but to be an entrepreneur to own your own business.
so yeah, I guess you can say that in a sense, but I think more so it's that I want everybody to be happy. And I know that's not like a real thing for everybody in the world to be 100% happy all the time. Um, but the fact that I can do that with my baking and I can do it freely, like I just did a cake this weekend and it was like, okay, well, you have creative freedom over this cake. And I'm like, oh, you trust me that much for me to make this cake for you? Like, and you're not telling me what you want, like you're just giving me a theme and letting me run with it. So it's honestly, it's what motivates me is the fact that I can make people happy by something so simple as a cake or a cupcake or a cookie. Like, some people look at these things and be like, oh, this is just so pretty. I don't want to eat it. Like, okay. And now you just have this big smile on your face. So that's really what it is for me. It's just to make people happy.
Okay, okay. So let's talk a little bit more about like the business side. So, what are some of the things that you've learned? Since you started your business that you've learned about the business, not about the passion, not about the baking, but actually about the business. Like, what are some of the things that you've learned throughout the process?
Honey, that I cannot do math.
Just
If math is not your strong point, honey, you need to get somebody that is strong enough to do it for you and then some. Um, and another thing that I learned is that majority of the time, what you plan on doing as far as business, like in the planning process, that is your business plan. And
hmm
it's the simplest things that people really don't think about. Like when it was brought to me, like, okay, what's your business plan? I'm like, I don't know. But then having a conversation and the things that are being asked for, like, okay, well, who's your target audience? What is it that you want to do? How do you want to go about doing this? Like those, like who, what, when, where, why, how, all of that is a business plan.
hmm
And it's a lot of times, again, the things that you say or you do, and you just don't know that that's what it is. You think you're not capable of doing it, but you've done it.
Was it easy when you found out like, okay, I gotta have target audience, I gotta know who I'm selling
Nope,
to?
nope. Because again, I just want everybody to be happy. So I'm selling to everybody. Like that's
Selling
just
to
how I see it.
everybody.
I'm selling to everybody. At some point, I might need to learn to make some Mexican desserts or some Cuban desserts or something like. At some point, I might branch out into those things. But no, it was not easy at all. It was not easy at all.
Okay, is it easier now? Now that you know a little bit more about the business, of course, you're still learning how to be an entrepreneur. You're learning how to be a
Yeah,
great baker and stuff like that. But is it easier now that you know, like, okay, all these things have to go into formulating a business. All these things have to go into starting a business. Um, is it easier now that you know those things, or is it still kind of like over your head a little bit?
some of it is still like rocket science in a sense. Um, more so just like different terminologies that'll be used. I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but um, just going through the process on how to do, like basically the things that you say you want to do, like going behind the scenes and like how am I doing those things? How am if this is the end goal, like what am I doing in this timeline to get to this point?
hmm
So it's not necessarily easy, but and I guess it's not easy because you're working backwards,
hmm
if that makes sense.
Do you think it would have been easier if you started with a business plan? You started with like the way that people start businesses. So okay, so let me do this. So for people watching, if you're trying to start a business or if you don't know anything about starting a business, trying to be an entrepreneur, um, so the first thing you got to do, one, figure out your passion, figure out what you love doing, right? Figure out if you can monetize it, if you can make money from it, and then that's how you start your business. And you go, you get your LLC or you get your S corporation or whatever. Then you have to go and find EIN number. You get your website, and then if you have a product that needs to be patented or needs to be trademarked, you go and do all that stuff, right? But usually, before somebody does that, they start with a business plan. Me personally, I'm against starting a business with a business plan. Like, yes, you need to have an overall idea of what it is that you want to do, right? But I'm not the type of person that's gonna sit around and wait. Okay, I'm gonna wait till I have all of this whole 19, 20 page
Hmm.
business plan together. Nah, that's not how I do it. I just start it. If I got an idea, I just start it and I get it out there. So, do you think it would have been more helpful, or do you think you would have learned more if you started it the traditional way with the business plan and all that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because even now, going into year three, like, just to keep it 100, like, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Can I say that? Yeah, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Say what it is.
So, I mean, I don't know, but I don't know what I'm doing,
Mhm,
and it's just, you could put a business plan together, and you're like, okay, I'm going to work this plan from A to Z,
mhm,
and no sooner than you get to C, you like, okay, yeah, no, this ain't gonna work. So then everything from D down to Z is a dud. Now you got to go all the way back over. You got to start back at A, and then you have to try to do, you know, you basically just have to do this business plan over again. No, don't start with a business plan. Just do it.
mhm. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that gets a lot of people that want to start their own businesses. Like they like, oh, I need to get this business plan together. I need
Mm-mm.
to save up all of this money. Just like you can start
Nope.
a business with $2.
And
You can
can
start a business with 50. So you can
and
start a business
can
free, especially now that we got like social media and stuff like that. You can start a
exactly.
business for free. You can figure out what it is, like I say, figure out what it is you love to do, and then go from there. Like make an Instagram. I always talk about um buying your social real estate. So just like you buy
Hmm.
land, you want to make sure you get your social real estate. So your Instagram handles, your Twitter handles, your website, all of that stuff.
Websites, yeah,
Um, so that way, if you got an idea, just go ahead and kind of put it on paper, make it
yeah.
tangible in a way, right? So that way, it's like it's not here, it's out of here. Because if you don't get it out of here, it's just a dream. It ain't never gonna
Hmm.
be reality. It's just gonna be a dream. You're never gonna have an actual goal to actually reach if you don't make it tangible. At least put it on paper, or put it on your
Yeah,
phone, something,
yeah.
right? Um, so what's your favorite? I ain't gonna say favorite. What's your favorite part about being an entrepreneur? You know you love to bake, you know you love to cook, you know you love to do all that. But what's your favorite part about being like, yo, this my business type thing? Like that's my website. Like what?
That I can do what I want to do. Like, ultimately, it's that I can do what I want to do. I don't have
Mhm,
to report to nobody. I mean, obviously, in like things that may be posted and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want anybody to feel like they're being targeted or somebody to feel like they're not being catered to. But
mhm,
I can do what I want. I can do what I want unapologetically, and that's just that. If I don't want to take a cake order this week, I don't have to take a cake order this week.
mhm. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but yeah, if I want to go on vacation, I can go on vacation. I've got a 9 to 5, but I can't right now. But if I want to go on vacation, I can just go on vacation. I can do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it,
Mhm.
and don't have to report to anybody.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's and I think to what you say, yes, that's the overarching thing. But it's like one thing that you also got to remember as an entrepreneur is like, yeah, you don't have nobody to answer to, but you got if you have a business, you always have somebody to like if you're working in the business.
Yeah.
If you're active in the business, you always got somebody that you have to answer to, and that's your
Hmm.
customers, that's your audience, right? Yeah, you can make your schedule how you want. You have the freedom of more freedom of time, right? So you can schedule things how you want. You can say no to certain things, say no to certain orders, this, that, and the third. But you still got to remember that you still have to answer to your audience. Your
That's
audience,
like
yeah.
having to be present on social media. Like even though I probably
Hmm.
did not bake anything this week, like I still have content that I could have saved from a cake order that I just did,
Hmm.
or a pie order or something that I just did. Like I have the content to produce, so I have to stay relevant.
Hmm.
And answering the question, yes, I have the freedom to do what I want to do. In the same breath, though, one of the things that I don't like is that I have to remain relevant. And sometimes that's just hard because sometimes
Hmm.
you want to take a mental break. You don't want to do social media. Like you don't want to answer inquiries about cake orders, or you
Hmm.
don't want to you just don't want to deal.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, but you have to.
Hmm.
So I guess kind of finding that balance between, okay, I want to take a break and
Hmm.
I got to remain relevant in my business. So I'm working, but I'm not really working. Yeah.
Is there a balance though? Like, is there actually a balance? Being and I ain't gonna say, I guess being that social media is such a big part of everybody's life right now,
Hmm.
and then you got like the whole we going digital with everything metaverse. You got Facebook
Facts.
changed their whole name, like their whole entire name based on freaking the metaverse. Like we gonna be living in digital world. Ain't nobody leaving their house no more. We just living
Facts.
in a digital
Facts.
world. Do you think it is a balance? Is there a balance between being like, I don't want to, I don't feel like doing this today, but I gotta post something on Instagram or I gotta post something on Facebook? Is there a balance? Like, is there actually a balance, or are we just like trying to make up a balance at this point?
I mean, I feel like everybody's trying to make them a balance, like in their own situations.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that there's so many different tools that you can use to kind of, actually not even to kind of, to actually work for you. I feel like once you understand that you have these tools and they are accessible to you, they're
Mm-hmm.
easily accessible to you, and you actually use those to your advantage, then yes, you can create a healthy balance.
Mm-hmm. So, what's that balance like for you?
Um,
What's something that you do that takes your mind off of, give you that mental break when you're
Honestly, I
not
just take a
baking?
break.
Just take a break.
I just take a break. And that's why I say it goes back to like the tools that are accessible to you, to where you could schedule your post to go out at a certain time on certain
Mm-hmm.
days, and things like that. So I'm like, okay, well, I know I got content blocked out for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I can, jump on Instagram when I want to and respond to these comments, but I know that my posts are still getting out there, so I'm still remaining relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel like I'm having a mental breakdown, I can step away. I can put my phone down. I can walk into another room, or I can drive around the block and go get me some ice cream. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there is a balance. There's a healthy balance. Is it easy? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Is it feasible? Yeah.
Do you think social media is mandatory for like sustaining your business, any business?
This day and age, yes. Um, Obviously because of all the uncertainty, with the whole COVID and these new variants and stuff coming out, yes, it's a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like, you can go door to door now. People not even answering their doors. Some people aren't even leaving their house at all. Like they have their groceries and stuff delivered to their house.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, now absolutely.
Okay. And so just talking about COVID, because you mentioned bringing up COVID. So,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff had like 2020. We already know the whole world shut down, the whole United States, well, the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and a lot of businesses went under. They had, some businesses flourished during COVID, but a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, and local businesses went under, right?
Hmm.
So, what's something that what does sustainability look like? Like going into 2022, we came out of
Hmm.
2020, everybody was shut down. We went
Look,
into 20
barely.
we went into barely we went into 2021. like peeking around the corner, like is it safe to come out?
Right.
And now we at the end of 2021, going into 2022, another COVID variant. Like how can businesses? How do you think businesses can sustain going into 2022 with everything that's happening? Um, is it going digital? Is it remaining just true to, what your true to your brand or true to your business plan? Is what does sustainability look like in 2022?
I think that the only way we're going to go fully digital is if robots take over the world. Because to think about it,
They
like,
close.
right, they are, but you still have people out there, doing deliveries. They're delivering with masks on. You have some people that are cooking with masks on. So it, I really don't even, I really don't even know 100% how to answer that.
Hmm.
But ultimately, I'll probably say just stay true to who you are, your brand, what you stand for, because a lot of the times, some people actually mix like two. Like there's a very thin line between that,
Hmm.
and I feel like at some point, sometimes those lines, just become blurred and things start overflowing one into the other. So people feel like they have to go with the feelings of others rather than what is the real. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that
Yeah.
just made sense. It made sense in my head, but
No, I think it's kind of like the saying the customer's always right,
hmm
but sometimes the customer ain't right.
and ain't.
They ain't right. And they not gonna be right, and you ain't gotta listen to what everybody else is saying. You just kind of
Yeah.
gotta stay the course for what, like you said, stay true to yourself.
And it's not going to be it, and I think the problem is a lot of people think like, okay, what's going to work for this business is going to work for mine.
Mm-mm.
No, that
Nope.
is that is not the case. And that's why I say you have to stay true to who you are, what your brand is, because
Hmm.
what might work for Joe Blow down the street, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah. I think a lot of people when they starting out, they've been, and look, I'm all for not reinventing the wheel. Like
Hmm.
I think I posted this on Twitter. I don't know, I heard it somewhere, but it was like a wise man learn from the mistakes of others.
Indeed.
Like you learn from those mistakes. So I'm not gonna say when you starting off your business, just start off from scratch and don't. I mean, I wouldn't be doing entrepreneur talk if I wanted you to just go out and start from scratch and not have
Right.
any type of knowledge or any type of gems or keys that are being given to you. Like, yes, everything that you see is a copy from somebody else. Somebody made something or invented something because of an idea that they got from something that they saw, right? I mean, unless you're trying to go back 4,000 years or something like that, right?
I mean, hey, to each his own.
I mean, the greatest invention was the wheel, so they say. But it's not about reinventing something. It's about taking something that somebody else has done and finding a need within that service or within that product, right? It's going into certain industries like the baking industry, going into the industry and being like, okay, people don't have this or they don't have that, or they're lacking this type of service or this type of product. And going into like the sports industry and being like, okay, you're lacking uh females in the sports industry, I'm gonna jump in and change that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's not about reinventing the wheel, but it's about taking something or taking an
expanding it.
industry, yeah, expanding it and actually making it better.
Yeah.
And I think that's what businesses are meant to do. I feel like that's what businesses were founded on, making things better. They making
Oh
somebody's life
yeah.
better.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So sustainability 2022. What do you think is going to be a trend in 2022? Like not just for baking, just overall entrepreneurship. Is it going to be, I mean, we already got this whole metaverse thing coming up. We got crypto being big, digital currency. Um, would you start taking digital currency? How about that?
I haven't honestly thought about that.
Hmm.
That might be something that I need to look into, but that's not something that I've thought about,
Hmm.
especially because I'm kind of still. Um, drawn back, like, and this goes back to like me saying like I want everybody to be happy. Like
Mhm.
there's a piece of me that really truly 100% wants to believe that we're going to come out of this
Mhm.
and we're going to not go back to being how it was, but we're going to be better because of it.
Yeah.
In the same breath, though, the way people is acting up, we might not be coming out of this in 2022. Like we might have 2022 might be a 2021 twin. Prayerfully not,
That's
but it might be a 2021 twin.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. I have not thought about that for that reason because there's a piece of me that believes that we're going to come out of this, but then there's also a part of me that's like, okay, girl, get it together. You got to change with the times. What's happening?
Yeah, and I don't think it's either or, right? I don't think it's going to be. Well, I'll say this. I don't think it's either, right? I think it's going to be or. So it's going to
Okay,
be you gonna have money because we can't live off of straight digital currency. I don't care what nobody say.
right.
So you're gonna have to adapt. Like each business is gonna have to adapt to taking just like how we adapted from taking paper money or from coins to taking paper money to taking credit cards or checks to taking
And
credit cards to
and that was
taking
another
the
thing to think about.
scans,
Rem-
the
Remember
phone
when we
Apple
had
Pay.
that one hurricane in Florida where like everything was
It
down
was
for like 3 or 4 days? So
hmm
it's like if you didn't have no cash, like you were just screwed.
yeah, I would have been screwed because I don't carry cash no more.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and to think like, oh my gosh, I actually went through that to where I'm like, okay, I need to at least have a couple dollars on me
Hmm.
to. Oh well, child, I don't need that. Child, just cash at me or something like that. Like, no, baby. Mm-mm. Yeah,
That's a
no.
good point. That's a
Yeah,
great
I,
point
I
because
was
I
thinking about
was
that when you said it. I was like, oh my god, that
like,
really
really,
happened.
we had a whole hurricane, and I don't know what hurricane it was, but
It was like 2 years ago, three years ago.
nah, was it three?
It's
Yeah,
it's been a
and
minute.
all of
Yeah.
the internet. I mean, all of the digital whatever was down. Like the servers, it was down. The internet
Hmm.
was down. The lights was off. Everything was off.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to go to a gas station, and I don't even think you could get gas
Mm-mm.
because it runs on the like. That's
Hmm.
wow.
Hmm. So it's like if you didn't fill up before then,
Exactly.
the chances of you finding gas is very, very slim. And it got to the point where they had to put holes like when before the hurricane happened or before like the
Mhm.
whole thing or whatever. They're like, okay, well, you got one, two cars, that's it. Or you got a can of gas and that's it.
That really
Like
just, like, made me
it
think
was terrible.
about the whole metaverse,
Yeah.
digital currency thing, because it's like, yeah, like, we live in Florida, so, like,
Hmm.
we prone to having hurricanes all the time. I mean, not even if you're just in
Exactly.
Florida, whole East Coast, but just thinking about that, like, yeah, like yeah, so like I said, it's gonna be or, not either, but it's gonna be or and,
You just got to
because
be prepared for whatever at
exactly.
this point.
And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are getting like crypto right now, metaverse, digital currency. All of it is such hype right now. And if you're an investor, kudos to you. If you're invested in crypto, good job. But it's a hype right now, right? So
Mm,
yeah, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, the dollar is dead." You know, the dollar is. Just be real. Like, if the dollar actually disappeared, what would happen to your parents and your grandparents that don't know how to use crypto? What would happen to people like the United States, the world isn't going to let the dollar die, right?
mhm,
Because so many other countries depend on it. Now this is going from business to invest, but so many
right.
other currencies depend on it. But either way, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to prepare for the
Whatever.
best and the worst. Yeah, prepare for
Mhm.
both. Set up yourself, do your information. I mean, do your due diligence and
Research.
research
Mhm.
on the crypto space, research digital currency, research all of these things because your business may have to take it. Like you're gonna have to adapt with those times. Like, especially if you're online business. If you don't have a brick and mortar, if you're an online business, you're gonna have to adapt with the digital space. Like like I was talking about before with Metaverse and Facebook changing their name to Meta, Nike invented a complete they took their world headquarters and made it completely digital and put it into Roblox, which all the kids on Roblox. I ain't never played it a day in my life, but I know about it. Nike
Let's be
invented that
asking for
entire
what is
world.
it? Robux. I'm like, I
Somebody
don't know what
just
that
and then
is.
what metaverse, and this is another thing when I was talking about earlier, I was saying, talking about making sure that you buy up your digital land. So like your Instagram handles, your Facebook name and Twitter handles. You got people right now spending, I think somebody just purchased digital land, like actual like a digital block, a land, a plot digitally in the metaverse for $4.3 million. $4.3 million. Like, I'm not talking about 4.3 million US dollars. They purchased a plot of digital land. So in 2022, trends to look out for: digital everything, digital everything. You're gonna have to adapt to the times, especially if you're a brick and mortar store. Like
Mhm.
I wouldn't say just forget about visiting stores, right? Because again, we got those generations that want to go into stores. They want to go to those farmers markets and they want to
Yeah,
and touch and feel stuff before they buy it or before they purchase it. But
yeah,
if you are an entrepreneur and if you have a business, you need to be thinking about cryptocurrency. You need to be thinking about digital currency and DeFi and all this other stuff that comes along um with the new digital age and with the trends of 2022. And that kind of goes into how, what the sustainability look like in 2022. It looks like digital. It looks like digital. And if you are an entrepreneur, the stuff that I was studying when I first became an entrepreneur, I was doing research on the stuff that you was doing research on 2 years ago is completely obsolete. Like you're gonna have
mhm,
to understand how to set your business up in a way that it can take crypto, and set your business up in a way that is relevant on in the metaverse. It's relevant on Roblox. It's a lot to think about, but when we're talking about entrepreneurship in 2022, that's what we're thinking about. Like literally, you could take bait creations and go on the metaverse and buy your little plot of land and have your little store right there, and then the little characters from the Nike land can come and buy your little bait creations for 10 E- uh Ethereum. Yeah, yeah.
but
About that.
thinking about it and having this discussion, something that is crazy for me at least is um and this is just me as a person. Like sometimes I just think about the absolute worst.
Hmm.
I think about the worst side of things. But in this day and age, as a small business owner, as a business owner, period, you have to think, well, what if?
Hmm.
And that what if became a reality for 2021. And now it's like, okay, we slowly coming back because you have these places that are opening back up, and they're like, okay, well, we getting back into the gist of things. We're coming out of this thing, and it's a lot of people that are actually saying like, yeah, we're out of COVID, it's okay, and then boom, you got another variant. So now
Hmm.
it's like, okay, what if
Yeah.
we go back into a 2021 for
Hmm.
2022? So now you
Hmm.
have to prepare again for whatever. You have to prepare for everything to go to shut back down and everybody's back on lockdown. And
Yeah.
then you have to prepare for, okay, we come out of this, we good, we're golden, we're moving forward. Whatever's going to come next is going to come next.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. Like I said, you have to be prepared. Like you said, you have to be prepared for everything, every little bit of everything when it comes, especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur and being in business for yourself. You want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success on all levels, whether it's
Yeah.
digitally, physically. Um, you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
Um, so talking about success, do you believe and overall, do you believe that there is some sort of pattern or there is some type of formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
No. And I say that because my success is not going to look like your success, just like
Mhm,
your success is not going to look like mine or anybody else's. So I feel like if you try to follow, oh, actually, let me rewind. So, yes, my success is not going to look like your success is not going to look like my success and whoever else's.
mhm,
So, there are many different ways to get the same answer. So we're going to talk about math. Like you can get the same math problem and you have three or four different ways to get the correct answer for that one math problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's success. Success is the math problem,
Mm-hmm.
but how you get there is your own way of how you get there. So no, there isn't a formula
Yeah,
for it.
math, so it's algebra. I don't like
Yeah,
algebra,
all
but
of that.
that's what it is.
I just don't math. Period. Who thought it was a smart idea to put numbers, letters, and shapes together? Like what? No. Uh-uh.
Math is an exact, and for curious people, exacts are not good.
Terrible. It's
Math is an
terrible.
exact. But when you always curious, you'll be like, why does 2 + 2 = 4? Who came up with
Hmm.
two? Who came up to name the number two? Two.
Exactly. And then you start falling
Yeah.
down this rabbit hole of, well, why? Why? Why?
Look,
No.
but
Mm-mm. But
if
no.
you, hey, you don't gotta know math to be to start your own business, but you need to know it.
Facts. Facts. I mean, as long as you know that 2 + 2 = 4,
Yeah.
then you good. Look, you good.
Mm. Sometimes I wonder, do it really go for nah. Lord Jesus. Um so okay, so I want to go back a little bit to what we was just talking about when it comes to well, we wasn't really talking about it, but I mentioned investing, right?
Mm,
So investing has gotten really, really big,
yeah.
huge, especially over 2020 because people were sitting in their house. A lot of businesses, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of businesses tanked, but their stocks tanked. So it was like a
Hmm.
good time to buy. 2020, 2021 saw a lot of millionaires being made because of investing, right?
Mm.
So
Because they just
what
had money laying around because they couldn't do nothing
they
with
couldn't
it.
do nothing with it and the
Yeah.
government was giving it out for free.
Period.
Um so as an as an entrepreneur, right?
Hmm.
And I know you invest your money. So how has investing your money, whether it's personally or whether it's for your business, how has that impacted you as an entrepreneur? How has that impacted how you operate your business?
So I'm gonna go for um individual,
Hmm.
really. So investing could be a multitude of things. Most of the time when people hear investing, they think it's, like, oh, I'm buying stock. And
Hmm.
and that's their investment. For me, investing in myself is taking classes to better my craft. Like, oh, okay, like I
Hmm.
said, I just did my first fondant cake this past weekend. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I am a proud graduate of YouTube University, but that investing the time to watch those hour-long videos, 30-minute long videos was
Hmm.
me investing in myself, which invests into my business, which puts me on a different spectrum every time I watch a new video and I learn a new craft or I learn a new frosting technique or
Hmm.
I learn a new recipe. Like I'm elevating myself and my business. I'm elevating my knowledge and then using that knowledge and applying it to my business. I'm boosting my business.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, and I like what you said. Like investing doesn't have to be invested in the stock
Yeah.
market. Investing doesn't have to be going out and buying real estate. Investing can be investing in yourself.
Hmm.
Um,
Time
yes,
is an
time
investment.
is a big investment because you need to be able to perfect your craft.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of businesses that start out they fail, especially in certain sectors or certain industries because they don't invest the time it takes to learn the
Hmm.
craft, like learn the ins and out. Like with my business, when it comes to whether it's my for profit or my nonprofit, when it comes to both of those businesses, it's like you should know the ins and outs. You
Hmm.
should know, like, even if you're not good at marketing or if you're not good at making graphics, you should know how somebody is doing that, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good to delegate tasks that you're not good at because that frees up your time to be able to perfect your craft. But you should know, like you should know how to start the LLC. You should know how to file your annual reports, right? You should know
Do your
um
taxes.
how to do exactly because
Yeah.
it's tax season.
Yeah,
It's
it
tax
is.
planning season. So you should know how to do your taxes. You should
Yeah.
know what to write off. You should know um how to, how to not only start a business, but how to form your business properly so that you're in the correct tax bracket for everything, and you have the right you have the right what is it, not tax ID, but like your taxes are, your business is formatted in a way that you can file the correct taxes and things like that. Know which forms to file, right? Know when you go to the bank, that you can start a business account.
Hmm.
Know that you can go get a car in your business name. Like, these are
Business
all
credit,
things that,
yeah.
yeah, business credit, these are all things that as an entrepreneur, if you just starting out, like, you're not gonna know, but you got to take the time and put in that time to go. Like I say all the time, Google is your best friend. Go on Google, type in whatever it is you want to know, because 9 times out of 10 somebody else wants to know the same thing, and they figured it out and they put it online, right? That's really
YouTube
what
University graduate, honey.
that's really what Google, who owns YouTube, that's really what Google and YouTube are about, is people that were trying to figure it out. They went
Hmm.
online, they couldn't find it, so
They
they
read
did
a
their
book.
research, they read a
Hmm.
book, they trial and error, they did it,
Mm.
they failed, and then they learned from their failures. They took that lesson and they put it on YouTube. Or they took that
And think
lesson
about,
and put it on Google.
and with that, think about it too. Like, you learning and you're investing all of this time into learning these different things, and you can pass that stuff on to your kids. You can pass that stuff on
Hmm.
to your friends. So now you're not just eating; everybody's eating.
Yep. And you can pass on your business to your kids and
Exactly.
your friends
And
if you
then
want to
branch
too.
off other businesses from that one business. So
Hmm.
now everybody got a business. Everybody's a business owner. Everybody's an
Exactly.
entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur at too. I'm making designer diapers, baby. You hear me?
Designer diapers. All
Designer
right.
diapers.
Oh, and another thing, if you got kids, if anybody out here watching that got kids and you have a business, let's say you got an LLC, quick gem. If you do not have to file your business as an S corp, which is just a tax code. You don't have to file your business as an S corp to get to be able to file your taxes as an S corp. So this is just a game. If anybody else out there got kids,
Drop the
start
knowledge.
start your LLC. Go, it's a form 220 something. I don't know, but you can just type it in, tax code S corp, whatever. So start your business as an LLC, then you write the IRS and tell them that you want to take S corp tax status and pay your kids. Like, you can literally, if you got kids, I think they have to be 7 years old or older.
Hmm.
If you got kids, they 7 years old, make them work for the business.
Put
Like,
them on your
put them to
payroll.
work, put them on your payroll, make sure they're doing something, whether it's helping you out with shadowing you, whether it's helping you box up stuff, helping you deliver stuff, shipping, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Put them on your payroll, then pay the kids, right? So they're learning how to start a business, they're learning the business, right? You're teaching them the business that you're gonna eventually hand down to them if they want it, right? And then it's a tax write-off for your S corporation status. So you're paying your kids, but then you're writing it off on the back end for your taxes. So there you go. If you got kids, there's your gem for the night. I don't have no kids, but if you got
She
them,
is
there you go.
also not a financial advisor.
Yeah, this ain't
You got to throw
financial
that out for
advice.
people because they
Yes,
be a little too
disclaimer.
literal, honey.
This is not
Disclaimer:
financial advice. I am not a tax or financial
do your
professional. Do
research
your research and your due diligence yourself, because y'all ain't suing me.
because ain't nobody coming to get y'all out of jail.
And if you do sue me, I got an LLC, so you're not suing me anyway. Um, okay, so we talked a little bit about entrepreneurship in 2022. We talked a little bit about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, investing in yourself, investing in your business. Um, so my next thing is, do you have any questions for me? 'Cause I think that's all the questions I really had. Do you have any
Mhm.
questions for me? Anything that you feel that somebody else will want to know?
No,
Do,
I didn't come prepared.
do,
I didn't come
do,
prepared to ask questions
do, 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 do.
I didn't come prepared to ask questions. No, because we pretty much had a full live conversation throughout this whole process. So,
Yeah. So I'll say this: entrepreneurship in 2022. Um, what I think entrepreneurship in 2022 means, or what I think it looks like overall, is um, really just learning how to stay relevant, which is something we talked about, learning how to sustain your business through adversity, through hard times, through down times. And I think 2022 is going to find a lot of people starting more businesses, being more successful, but also is going to find a lot of people investing back into others, right? So taking the things that they've learned from 2020, that they learned from 2021, and putting it back into the community, giving it to their friends, making sure that everybody on their team, everybody that they know is getting to the bag, getting money.
So now I do have a question.
Oh Lord.
With you having multiple belts, multiple hats, and having multiple businesses, both for and not for profit, what was probably the biggest struggle for the two, the for profit and the non-profit or not for profit, throughout the course of this year,
Of course, of
if
this
there
year,
were any?
um, yes, there were, but I'll start first by saying the biggest like hurdle that I had to get over was um and it's kind of been confirmed throughout this last week, and I'll tell you why. But the biggest hurdle was understanding that I don't have to silo myself into one thing. Like
Mhm.
people always tell you focus on one thing, and I just said like perfect your craft. Yeah, you can perfect multiple crafts at a time. Um, so I think that was like the biggest hurdle, like being like, okay, I started this for profit business, consulting, all this other stuff. I want to do a nonprofit. Can I really do both at the same time? And the answer is yes, you can, right? You just have to put a team around you that can handle, like I said, you got to delegate certain things. You got to know the business for yourself, but then understand or be self-aware of what it is that you aren't as good at, what your weaknesses and strengths are, right? So, um, dang, what was the question again?
What was some of the biggest struggles
Biggest
that
struggles.
you
Okay,
faced?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This year, I don't really think I had many struggles this year, just because I've been doing business. I've been an entrepreneur since 2011, so 10 years. Um, so it's kind of like I done kind of seen it all. I done failed. I failed early. Um, Thankfully, I failed early. I learned those lessons, and I learned how to turn those failures into success. So I think the biggest like struggle really was just uh probably just adapting to the times, really. Like adapting everything else, like, and I'm not gonna say adapting digitally, but adapting mentally to everything else that was going on. So adapting to being more involved on social media, adapting to knowing when to take a break and knowing when to step back. Adapting to everything not going your way. Everything is not gonna go your way.
Yeah.
Everything ain't gonna be perfect. But the adaptation for me mentally was probably my biggest struggle, because I had to learn and teach myself that yeah, you can do all these things at once, but look, you're not that good. You don't like talking on the phone. So get somebody else to do that for you. You don't like reaching out to people. Get somebody else to do that for you. Like I got to a point one time where I was like, I don't want to edit no more videos for nobody. I don't want to do, and it was like, okay, go online to Fiverr and get somebody to do it for you. Like those things, adapting mentally to just switching your focus on the things that you're more passionate about, the things that you love doing within the business. That's what kind of, yeah, got me. Or it was the biggest struggle that I had to get over.
Thank you. No more questions.
No, I don't know why my headphones sound weird. Can you hear me still?
Mhm.
Uh, All right, all right. So final to do, final to do. So I got two final questions that I'm gonna ask. The first is going to be, If you were to write a book about yourself, how would you name it? Or what would you name it?
A sparkling stairway.
Okay, care to elaborate?
Okay,
Is it to
so
heaven?
everybody, no. So everybody that knows me, and for those of you that don't know me, I love sparkles, I love glitter, I love all things that are happy and pink and purples and whatever. So that's where the sparkle part came from. And stairway, because stairways you can either walk up or you can
Mm-hmm.
walk down.
Mm-hmm.
So my life is pretty much up and down
Mm-hmm.
stairs. Like one minute I'm up and I'm making all these orders and I got it, and then the next minute I'm down and I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to look at no cake. I don't want to smell no cake. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to be bothered
Mm-hmm.
with nobody. I want to be all by my lonesome. So I would call it a sparkling stairway.
Do the sparkles? Okay, okay, it's sparkly, right? Is it
Hmm.
colored or is it sparkly like
It's just
silver?
sparkle.
Okay.
It's just sparkle. Because you might have like a gray sparkle or a black sparkle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know how you have like golds and pinks, and
Mm-hmm.
sparkle can be any color. So it's a sparkling
Yes.
stairway.
So my question was like, going up, does it get brighter sparkles, and going down and
Yeah, yeah.
mm, okay. Okay.
Mhm. So
Okay.
either way, it's gonna be sparkly honey because I'm gonna be stepping.
Sparkly staircase. S-
Stairway.
Stairway.
Hmm.
Sparkling
A
stairway.
sparkling stairway. Because you don't know if it's gonna be up or if it's gonna be down. You don't know, but
Mm.
it's gonna sparkle.
Okay, I like it. Okay. Lord Jesus.
Let me start
The
writing my
sparkling.
book.
Lord. So last question before we get
Mhm.
off of here. And look, we right on time.
Look at
Um,
God.
with a D and a
Yeah,
T.
God. Yeah, God. Look at
Um,
God.
what piece of advice would you give? And this is like a typical cliche question, right?
Right.
What piece of advice would you give to anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur?
Do it. Just go for it. Find out what well, I mean, most people don't really have to find out what they're passionate for or
Mm-hmm.
passionate about, but find what you're passionate about and go for it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
say, find out what it is, how if there's a need for it, if you can monetize it, do that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was probably hardest for me starting out was worrying about the people that don't support you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that because your biggest supporters sometimes are complete freaking strangers.
Mm-hmm. We
So,
could do a whole show on support.
whew, baby, listen, I'm just saying my whole team is bosses, so I ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, don't worry about who's not supporting you. Just go out and do it because at the end of the day, there's always going to be somebody watching you. There's always going to be somebody that wish they were in your shoes. There's always going to be somebody that needs you
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know it, but they need you. So do your thing.
Yes, you never
Y
know
O
who
T H A
is.
N G. Do your thing.
You never know who is watching you. You never know who's looking up to you. You never know
Yeah.
who is supporting you from afar.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of like you said, a lot of your support is not gonna be who
Don't
you
even
think.
know me.
Like, not they're not gonna be like I had people that when I had my first, yeah, my first, really my second business, when I was doing online graphic design, t-shirts and stuff, online retail store. When I was doing that, I would be getting orders and stuff from people I ain't even know, never seen a day in
Hmm.
my life. Like, um, which is how I kind of got to having like my clothes worn by like some celebrities and other entrepreneurs and people in the sports industry, because of people that I didn't even know. Like
Hmm.
people that you don't know will be your biggest supporters. So you can't always look to. I say this: it's good to start off with your family and your closest friends. Like when you're starting off a business, it's good to have them there for um that feedback, that true
Hmm.
feedback, that accountability. But don't just single
Always
yourself
depend on
to,
them.
yeah, depend on them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you giving out, like with baking, you giving out free product and you doing test kitchens. Like, don't just submit, like, don't just give your test products to your family. Give it
Yeah,
to other
because
people too.
it also got to a point where some people would feel like they were obligated to these
Mm-hmm.
things. Like, I gotta eat too. I got bills to
Mm-hmm.
pay too. I have a life that I have to maintain. So I can't just keep forking out all this money for stuff and I'm not getting a return or at
Yeah,
least breaking even.
exactly.
So yeah, you just have to know who you're dealing with when it comes really to anything in life, but especially with a business. Because you got somebody that you could be selling a bottle of water for 50 cents and they gonna complain about your prices too high, but they'll go to the Amway Center or they'll go to a football game or something and
Mm-hmm.
pay $3 for that same bottle of water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Priorities.
So, huh, come on.
Priorities. Like,
So yeah, you just don't worry about who supports you. Just go out and do it. And if it don't work, you walk down the
where-
sparkling stairway, you turn around and you walk back up.
she plugging that book, y'all.
I'm just saying, it's coming. It's coming. I already
Yeah,
got the
she
cover
fucking
together
with
and everything is coming.
Lord Jesus.
But yeah, you just do you. Do you.
Yeah. Do you start the business, right? I think I sent you a tweet. I ain't gonna say it because we got 9 to 5s, but it was basically like, um, don't worry about what other
Mhm.
people doing. Just do it
Mhm.
because they
Just do
ain't worried
you.
about you. They not worried about you. And I think a lot of people get overwhelmed too with like validation. Like
Oh
nobody
yeah.
cares. Like
Yeah.
I had to get past that years ago too. It was like nobody cared. Don't nobody care what you look like. And a lot of people like to base stuff, especially during these times with, the race theory and racial
Mhm.
injustice, which is happening. But at the end of the day, if you got a product or if you got a service that's good, it don't matter. It don't matter
It
if you're
doesn't.
black. It don't matter if you're white. Don't matter where you was born. It don't matter. If you got a product that's good, is like if you build it, they will come. So you got to build it. You can't want people to come to you and you ain't built nothing yet.
Because I'm just saying, I service everybody. Okay, white, black, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Jamaican, all of that. Asians, all of that.
So
So
advice to people, anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur, just do it. Start it. Even if you fail, it don't matter. I done started so many businesses and failed at. I done started my Google domains list is like 30 domains long because because I done started so many things and just so many ideas that
mhm.
I've had in my head that I just like I gotta get it out. I gotta make it tangible. And that's one of the things I want to talk about too. So rest in peace to Virgil
Yeah.
A blow. He was a really big inspiration to me being an entrepreneur because he always started things just because it was an idea he had to get it out. He didn't let nobody stop him from starting those ideas and starting those businesses. Even some of the stuff that blew up today, like he's printing, t-shirts and shirts, like buying flannels from Old Navy or wherever and printing on them and selling them for $600. And people actually buying it
And
just
will.
off because of an idea, right? Um, so he was really a driving force behind a lot of like me just putting my ideas out, starting businesses, being an entrepreneur. Because if you don't get the idea out there, like I said, if you got to build it. If you build it, they'll come. If you can't want people to come to something if you ain't built it, you ain't got no seats, you ain't got nowhere for nobody to sit down, you ain't got no bathroom for nobody to go to, you ain't got nothing. So you have to build it. You have to build it, and people will come to it.
But when you make
Um,
it tangible, it becomes real.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
it's real at that point. Like this is real life, and I'm
exactly,
actually doing this. So yeah, make it real. Just enough to make it real. Yeah, make it real.
exactly. So that's it. That's all. It's been real. Thank you, Miss Nakedria Clark, Sister Clark,
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
on
So much.
to Entrepreneur Talk. I was gonna say Entrepreneur Talk 2.0, but it ain't 2.0. We're just continuing it, picking up where we left off. And if y'all don't remember, like Nikitra's supposed to be on the first Entrepreneur Talk, and a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff happened. Whole bunch of stuff happened.
Yeah. I could have been
um,
dead and gone.
oh Lord Jesus,
Could have been
don't
dead and
say
gone.
that
No,
for
I'm
another
joking.
time.
But
Um, but yes, so if you like the video, if you are watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to my channel, comment below.
How they do it on the videos? Press the subscribe button. Gonna put it right here.
I don't know where it's gonna
I'm
be at.
just gonna put it right
It's
here.
live, so it's
Well, you
somewhere.
gotta put it right there now. So when you edit it, you gotta put it right
I don't
there.
have to
Cause
edit. It's live.
oh well, whatever. But put it right there. You gotta put it right there.
Subscribe to the channel. It's probably like right over here or right
At
over
the
there
bottom
somewhere.
somewhere.
So subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you're on YouTube, Nakedria, tell them where they can find you at. Um, all that stuff.
So Instagram, you can follow me at this is Nakedria,
Right down the screen.
Nekedria. Twitter, same. This is Nakedria. Then you can also follow Bake Creations at the Bake Creations on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. Yeah, we in
Yeah.
there. We got some good, cute stuff coming up for the holidays, not just for adults, but for children, for old people, for
Adults, children, and
everybody.
old people.
Look, adults, children, and old
Uh,
people. It's for everybody. Okay. We service everybody. And, just if you have not already, allow Bake Creations to create for you.
mm,
Okay. Because we do it with love.
mm,
All right.
mm-hmm,
And a little bit of sparkles.
mm. Sparkles, man. It's killing me. Oh man. Okay, y'all know where to
Sparkles.
find me at. Of course, here on YouTube, Asia McMillan. You can find me at I am Asia McMillan everywhere, literally everywhere else. If you
Well.
everything will be linked in the description below. All of Nakedra's information, Bake Kreation, and of course, again, where you can find me at. And yeah, so stay tuned, and we'll be coming back with another entrepreneur talk. Um, yeah, maybe I'll bring Nakedra back. If she
Yeah.
ain't on the stairway, on the sparkling
I
stairway.
can be like what is it? Like I can be the
A co-host.
yeah, yeah,
I like that.
yeah. Because I asked the hard questions. And we're gonna keep it real.
Lord Jesus. All right, it's been real. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. And we'll check in with y'all later. Peace.